Can I make a DoodleJump spin-off in only one day? That is the question we are going to answer in this video. But wait, why would I expose myself to such a stressful challenge? The thing is, I have watched a lot of game jam videos recently. If you don't know what a game jam is, it's basically an event where developers come together to create video games from scratch, often centered around a specific theme. And I really like those game jam videos. I never actually attended a game jam, so I thought, let's make my own little game jam. Let's make a game in one day. But why did I choose DoodleJump? You see, I have an older brother. And when I say old, I mean really old. Like really old. The guy's pretty much ancient. Anyways, being the boomer he is, he obviously only likes the old classic games. The OGs of gaming. And whenever I come up with a new idea for my games, he tells me, this sucks and that was better. Why didn't you make another Flappy Bird, Angry Bird, DoodleJump or Temple Run spin-off? And so I thought to myself, sure, why not make one of the OGs of mobile gaming? That's how I decided to make a DoodleJump spin-off. But I gotta be honest guys, one day might not be enough for a single indie dev like me. Which is why I decided to cheat just a little bit. I'm going to plan the whole thing beforehand and finish my surprise before making the game. There was one problem. DoodleJump is pretty much a perfect game. So in order to copy it, I will need to change a core mechanic. The only thing I could think of was that instead of jumping, you would spin around. Let's turn an endless jumper into an endless spinner. Before we get started on the art, I need to remind you to subscribe and like this video so you don't miss out on future uploads. With that out of the way, let's get back to the game. I started working on the art by playing some DoodleJump, looking at some screenshots and copying the theme. I came up with my own design of the player with a long nose that he can use to spin around dots. I made 3 variations of the dots and a paper background. I also decided to add some very simple lines which act as the walls, so the player knows when he will come back in on the other side, like in DoodleJump. I made some simple UI elements for scoring and a quit button. Lastly, I added some dangerous looking spikes. I think I've pretty much nailed the DoodleJump theme. What do you guys think? Tell me if you like the design down in the comments. With the art out of the way, I started planning out my game loop. I drafted my game idea with pen and paper and quickly identified what I would need. And then came the long-awaited day. I got up at 8 o'clock for a change and ate some bread while booting up my PC. I set up my Unity project and started working on the game. First thing on the list were the player mechanics. I implemented the spinning and added some code for launching the player into the air. That wasn't much of a challenge. Then I quickly added the dots. Green for normal dots, yellow for timed dots, and this broken dot that just disappears when touched. After that, I added the spikes with some very simple game over logic. When the basic game mechanics were finished, I took care of the scoring. I just made a simple high score like in my other games. Then I needed to fix the main camera. So I just copied the code from an old Bracky's video for his DoodleJump remake. I realized that my player could still leave the edge of the screen, so I quickly added some GPT code to make him teleport to the other side. This took me until deep into the afternoon, and since I was getting really hungry, I decided to take a short break, order some pizza and come back with a full stomach. The last big challenge I had to face was a way to spawn new dots and spikes. Since I didn't have the time to make a very complex algorithm, I decided to make a segment spawner system which randomly spawns one segment whenever you cross a certain height. I made some random segments and threw the easier ones into my spawner a lot more, so they have a higher chance of spawning. I also added a tilt system to make the player move horizontally and tested it in the editor with the arrow keys. The rest of my evening was playtesting and bug fixing. But I managed to make it work pretty much bug-free before midnight. I was dead beat, but also quite proud of myself as I fell into bed. So there you have it guys. I managed to make a DoodleJump spin-off in one day with a little bit of cheating. I decided to call the whole thing DoodleSpin and polished it just a bit so I could add it to my game collection Empty Bag Games. This one was hard, but I really learned a lot about planning a project and managing time. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. Thanks for watching and see you next time.